Namas- Namaskaram, everybody. I wish to say a few words about the question. Does the vocalist have an obligation to sing a kriti in such a way as to incorporate the meaning of the kriti in the way he sings? Like Sri Nedunuri Krishnamurti, for example. When you hear him sing any Tyagaraja kriti, you can even understand the meaning of he sings in such a way as to convey the meaning of the kriti. Like to take my very favorite example, Telisi Ramachintanato, when I hear him sing, actually he is not singing just the kriti, he is conveying the meaning of the kriti. Very few vocalists have that ability to do that. And the question is whether they have an obligation to sing in such a way as to convey the meaning. Now imagine this situation. You attend a Bharatanatyam dance program, and the dancer comes on stage all decked in glorious glittering sari, and Nattuanga, the vocalist, is singing, describing what the actress is doing. He says she is picking parijata flowers from the trees to make a garland for Sri Krishna. That is what the lyric says. And imagine the Bharatanatyam dancer stands on stage with the thighs apart, crouches a little like a Bhimasena, and starts doing the abhinaya for Draupadi Vastraparan. She keeps on dragging the sari as if Draupadi is standing there, she is pulling the curtain, pulling the sari down. But the lyric says she is picking up parijata flowers. So there is a conflict between what the lyric says and what abhinaya she is doing on stage. So the vocalist is doing the same thing. When he doesn't sing according to the meaning of the kriti, he is saying, to hell with the meaning, I am going to sing in an entertaining way. That's what the vocalist says. So the question is whether the vocalist should sing in such a way as to convey the meaning of the kriti. And a lot of times, like Tyagaraja, Kapi Narayani, Raga kriti, Ramanive Gani Nannu. They sing very well. When they sing, they don't convey the meaning. The meaning suggests you should sing that kriti in either Madhyama Kala or slower tempo. But they sing very, very, very fast. Malavi Raga, Nenna Runchi Nanu. That is also, they sing at exceptionally high speed, which doesn't convey the meaning of the kriti at all. It entertains. Yes, they get a huge applause, but it doesn't convey the meaning of the kriti. So the question is whether the vocalist should sing in such a way as to convey the meaning of the kriti. There are very few vocalists who sing like that, conveying the meaning of what Sri Tyagaraja wrote. For example, Sri Nedunuri Krishnamurti is one of the very few vocalists I have seen who always sings with conveying the meaning of the kriti. So the question is, why don't more vocalists sing like that? And the reason is, to convey the meaning of the kriti, one must sing in either Madhyama Kala or Chauka Kala, slower tempo. Bhava you cannot, in fast singing there is no bhava. When a vocalist sings very, very fast, Telisi Ramachintanato, there is a video on YouTube of a vocalist singing at 400 miles an hour, very, 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 very fast. But there is no bhava, there is no bhakti, but huge applause. I have seen it with my own eyes, with my eyes I heard. Whenever they sing very, 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 very fast, even unending swaras, an overflow of swara, unending swaras, torrential flow of swaras, invariably, automatically they get huge applause. I was once in music academy. Two brothers, they are very good singers. I admire their singing. And they sang a Vagadishwari Alapana, soul stirring. It was very, very moving. I was touched. They sang at a slow tempo. There was no applause. I was probably the only one in the audience applauding. Everybody sat like statues because they were singing at a slow tempo. Apparently, Rasikas don't like slow singing. But next they took the Hindolam raga at very, very fast speed. One brother will sing a Sangati and the second brother will sing the next Sangati. Before one brother finished the first Sangati, the second brother starts singing the second Sangati. So there is no gap between the Sangati, there is no Vishranti. Between two Sangatis, there should be Vishranti. For example, between two breaths, there is a gap, there is Vishranti. Between two pulse beatings, there is Vishranti. So when singing, there should be Vishranti between Sangatis. The way my Sangita Acharya explained to me, T.N. Bala explained to me, Yashwant, human mind needs some time to digest the beauty of the Sangati, the raga, to appreciate the raga. You need some time. It's not instantaneous like a computer. You need some time, your mind needs some time to digest the beauty of it. That is the reason they say, take your time. When you sing, take your... T.N. Bala's number one mantra to me. During the 29-30 years I learned vocal from him. His number one mantra was, Yashwant, take your time. Why rush? Give the mind time to enjoy the beauty of the Sangati. So one must take one's time, sing in an unhurried manner, singing in Shruti, singing in an unhurried manner, singing with bhava, preferably with bhakti, because there are some vocalists say, I don't believe in God. So people who don't believe in God, they don't want to sing with bhakti, but at least they can sing with bhava. And that is the reason when I attend Sri T.M. Krishna's concert, there are many, many occasions when I experienced Ananda and I wept. I remember one concert I attended of Sri T.M. Krishna in Shastri Hall. He sang Pantuvarali Alapana. No mic. He insisted, shut off the mic, no fan, too much noise. But next he started Pantuvarali Alapana. It just melted my heart. I wept like anything. Because what happened was, the way he sang Pantuvarali, with lot of Vishranti between Sangatis, my mind became so calm that it experienced Ananda, which is in my own jiva. T.M. Krishna didn't give me the Ananda. The Ananda experience I already had in my own heart. He gave me an opportunity to experience that Ananda. So, Carnatic music is capable of giving Ananda to people. But a vocalist would rather get applause than give an opportunity to experience Ananda, because that's because of the practical nature. See, once I saw a father of a very popular vocalist in one of the sabhas, and I usually go to concert at little early, and the father was sitting alone there. So I took the opportunity and said, I heard your son singing at Ragasudha Hall, a kriti in Kannada raga. And I wept. It touched me that I wept. So I said to him, why doesn't sing all the kritis like that, so people can experience Ananda? He said, if he sings all the kritis like that, there will be 30 people in the hall. All the rest will run away. So, and he gave me an example of another vocalist who sings mostly in slow tempo. But he said he has never seen more than 30 people attending her concert. But my son wants to see a huge audience. So we must all try to please the Rasikas. This is what the Rasikas, he's right. The Rasikas nowadays want to feel thrill and fast singing will do that. Singing very, very, very fast. Slow singing, people feel bored and they don't applaud. So that's what is happening to Carnatic music. Purandaradasa said one must sing with bhakti, but nobody sings with, very few people sing with bhakti anymore. Bhakti is disappearing, but applause. Carnatic music has transformed itself from a bhakti-oriented music into an applause-oriented music. That is because of what the Rasikas. I don't blame them, by the way. I don't blame the vocalist at all. I'm not blaming the musician. I'm blaming the Rasikas. Vocalists are giving Rasikas what they want, what they demand. So I don't blame the vocalists. It's the Rasikas. And I have always, after the concert, singing, sometimes I feel depressed. Why such a beautiful kriti they take, Tyagaraja, and sing it at 400 miles an hour? I have wondered about it for years and years and years. Then finally the answer came to me one day when I was sitting in my living room. After I heard Swamini Vimalananda's video on YouTube, she talks about the human mind. She says, the natural state of the human mind is to be at peace. Peace is the natural state. And to experience peace, people are in search of peace of mind. The simple thing you have to do is stop making the noise in the head. Peace will return because peace is already there. We can only stop the noise to experience peace. And that makes sense because that is the reason Rasikas demand loud music, fast music, torrential flow of swaras. That's because we all have thought waves. Talapala, Tyagaraja calls Talapulanni Nilipi Nimishamai. Talapala, everybody has thought waves. Everybody, even the greatest of the great monks. Talapala is a natural state. Talapala is that. So Talapulanni Nilipi. So all these Rasikas have noise in their head. And the easiest way to quiet that noise is to create louder noise outside the head. So relatively speaking, then peace returns to mind. The best thing is to do meditation and get rid of all the thoughts until only one thought remains. What meditation is a technique to calm the mind. What Carnatic music does, what meditation does, what all the yogas, their aim is one. That is to calm the mind. Because mind is the one gatekeeper of all this. Is a Dwarapalaka who obstructs people from enjoying Ananda, because it's a gatekeeper. You have to calm the mind, then you will experience Ananda. So, Talapulanni Nilipi Nimishamaina. So the Rasikas give huge applause because the noise in their head, they found the easiest way to calm it, create louder noise outside, so they feel a sense of relief. But that's the way the world works nowadays, Carnatic music. And I have been thinking about it for a long, long time, but I never open my mouth because recently I was at RK Convention Center. Whenever I see a musician sitting alone, I take the opportunity to listen to him and learn from him because I don't know much about Carnatic music. Although I learned vocal for 30 years, I consider I know very little. So I asked this very famous, I won't mention his name here, I asked a very famous violinist and told him what I've observed in why people singing very, very fast, even violinists like Telisi Rama Chintanato, vocalists sing Telisi Rama Chintana. So even the violinists, re, when I listen to Nedunuri singing the same kriti, it's entirely different. So my hope is people will sing, take their time and sing in such a way as to calm the Rasika's mind. To continue with the violinist, he was a very famous violinist. And I asked him, why do people sing so very fast? He has accompanied many, hundreds of vocalists. And I said, why do people sing so fast? He said, they are not singing. He bluntly told me, after he heard my views, he is not singing for you. He is singing for the Rasika. This is what the Rasikas want. If he doesn't please Rasikas, he will starve. No, sometimes in the audience, there is always one or two secretaries from other sabhas. They come not to listen to the music. They are watching the reaction of the audience. So, if the vocalist gets huge applause, it can be guaranteed that a secretary approach the vocalist, come and sing at our sabha. If nobody applauds, then the secretary just goes from the back door. That is the reason vocalists sing like that. Because I know some really good vocalists. I admire their singing, great voice, great Sangeeta Jnana. They have learned from great teachers. They know how to sing properly because I have wept at some of their concerts. They touch me. But they still are drawn to sing in such a gimmicky way because they know it's guaranteed to get applause. I was at this Ragasudha hall, a very famous Veena player. I won't mention her name either. But she's really a great Vainika. The first three kritis she played with bhava at a slow tempo. It touched me, really touched me. But there was tremendous silence. There was no applause. Then she was playing Sankarabharana Alapana. It started beautifully. Then after 2 minutes, suddenly she noticed people are too quiet. She began to play in a gimmicky way because she knows it's guaranteed to get applause. And I got very upset. Such a beautiful raga, and she knows how to play it, and yet her ears ached to hear applause, so she did the gimmicky thing. So finally, I left quietly and went out of the door and walked. I was walking towards my flat. Then I ran into one of the Rasikas from here. He has seen me at many, many concerts. And he looked at the time. He was walking towards the hall. So he said, it looks like you left in the middle. So I told him what happened. I said she was playing such a beautiful Shankarabharana Alapana, one of my favorite ragas. And she began to play in a gimmicky way just to get applause, because as soon as she played the tikka, she got huge applause for that. But during 2 minutes before that, when she played beautifully with a lot of proper gamaka, there was absolute silence. People didn't care for it. But as soon as she played in a gimmicky, circus-like way, she gets huge applause. So I was telling him that. Suddenly he said to me, tikka, that's exactly what she did. So he was quite familiar with what she does to get applause. Such a great, she has great knowledge. But why is she forced to do that? Because she wants to hear applause. See, that's what the Rasikas, I don't blame that Vainika at all. She is only giving Rasikas what they want. In old days, I remember when I was very young, 7, 8 years old, in Mangaluru, we used to live next door to Lakshmi Devasthana. And if there was a wall between the temple and our house, if I jumped the wall, I'm in the compound of Lakshmi Devasthanam. Whenever I heard Carnatic music coming from there, I always jumped the wall and sat in the temple. Very few people will be there. It's a small temple. But I will sit there and listen. And many, many times I have wept because even at that young age, I knew what Ananda was. I have experienced Ananda. But as years went by, my experience in Ananda became less and less because people's style of singing has changed. Now we have ended up with what we are hearing now is the result of the desire to hear applause. So Carnatic music has evolved from bhakti-oriented music to applause-oriented music. The bhakti-oriented music is an old concept. People say, somebody told me bluntly, you belong to the old generation, you are an old man. That's the old idea, bhakti. We don't believe in that. We want to experience thrill. I said, it's not an old idea, it's in the Shastra. And Mahaperiyava told Madurai Mani Iyer that sing with one verse. He was not telling Madurai Mani how to sing because he already sang like that. He was telling Rasikas in general must admire singing with bhakti and bhava and not crave for fast singing. He said there is no soul in fast singing. There is only thrill, but no soul. He says, man, this is Mahaperiyava's words. He says, the man can do 101 different things to entertain himself, to experience thrill, but man has very few tools available to calm the mind. And one of the tools available is Karnataka. Not only one of the tools, it's the most efficacious tool available to man to calm the mind is Carnatic music. So that's what we should do. We should sing Carnatic music in such a way as to calm the mind. That is, after all, the purpose of Carnatic music. Thank you. That's all I meant.